announced that any households that are not going to be sending someone to fight in a war will have to pay a tax to the government for the others that do. And this is basically to say to anybody who's thinking about using the military anywhere, anytime, that they're going to have to actually tax the right.
Why don't you just take my blood?
So this is typical Beto O'Rourke crap, and it's actually something that has been very effective for him locally, but has been a disaster for him throughout the country, because he doesn't seem to realize that he doesn't know the country. He knows his district very well, which makes sense because he was a congressman. He never even had to run in a statewide race until he took on Ted Cruz, and the only reason that it worked for Ted Cruz across Texas was because Ted Cruz isn't so liked in Texas, number one, and number two, it was a standalone race where he was wildly funded by outside organizations who kept telling him how awesome he was. So now what he's trying to do is trying to put up these weird proposals so that he can actually get support nationwide, because no one else is talking about them. He said the same thing about how he wants to appoint a council of minorities. Basically, he'll have one black person, one Spanish person, one gay person, one trans person, and everything that will help him make decisions that his white privilege doesn't allow him to notice. So he doesn't know how to actually think about them, so he'll have to have somebody that tells him how to.
I don't even know where to begin with the problems involved in instituting a state-sanctioned racial avatar as an advisory council. What the hell?
This is the world we live in. I remember I asked TFM, I think I did it privately. I said, when the history books are written, right, how are they going to describe this time? Because they're obviously not going to say, well, it turned into clown world. That's something we say now. You know, and he said, basically, he just thinks it's going to be that they're going to say this is when communism won. That even though the Soviet Union collapsed, that this is the time where communism took over.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking at this article, it's making my head hurt.
I mean, yeah, Shogun, aren't you thrilled that Beto is proposing picking a single black person to advise him on what your life is like?
Oh yes, I am very, very enthusiastic about this. I need someone to tell me how oppressed I am, how bad I have it, and
That's
remind
right.
everybody that the white man's got me down,
That's
and talk about
right.
how we need
I don't know.
reparations and all that
I don't
good
know.
stuff. Yeah,
Which type do you think it's going to be? Do you think he's going to pick a Larry Elder or a Louis Farrakhan? I'm just curious,
it,
which side would you bet
it's obvious he's not going to choose a Larry Elder. I mean, I did a video on Larry Elder's speech on reparations, and well, agreeing with him, of course. And yeah, Larry Elder is spot on. He is all about responsibility, um, and common sense. So yeah, a politician, common sense is like one of their worst nightmares because ugh, it's like if you want to manipulate people, you have to do it by the stupidest means possible. And that's one way of just keeping them stupid. Just believing that, okay, let me stop. I'm sorry. Oh,
on? Yeah, I don't. Can we get another article? Because that prospect is just absolutely horrifying.
I'm sorry. It's just this when the stupid is just so much. It just sometimes I have to restrict what I have to say, especially knowing that I'm in the office.
Okay, we can always bring it back to the channel's main theme with Agent Smith's recommendation there of a third of women only date men because of the free food.
So I just put that
Oh,
in the chat.
yeah. I've seen this article, and also this is something Tom Likas has talked about several times because um, this was years ago when I used to listen to his old broadcasts that were uploaded to YouTube after he went off terrestrial radio. And he talked about several times about the concept of what we call dinner whores. And what they do is that they'll go on a date with Poindexter from the IT department or Simon from the chess club because he's happy to go on a date for once because he wants to feel desired and so on. And he's happy to just go home with a peck on the cheek and called the night and then talked to all his friends in the Linux community. Said, "Man, I went on a date with a girl. It was so nice." While he's talking to his Linux buddies, she's banging Chad and Tyrone, in a three-way, while her stomach's already full. So yeah, and Tom Likas has already been that guy as well. He's been that guy where the chick goes to the bathroom and talks to him, saying, "Okay, I'll be done dating Poindexter in like maybe 30 minutes. I'm gonna freshen up a little bit. I'll see you then, and we'll have a good time." After I ditched Poindexter.
We also see, like, number one, I don't know if this is so groundbreaking because, I mean, everyone's always known about this, but there actually is a mutual benefit to it. I mean, yes, more likely the guy is going on some kind of date believing that this could turn into something. But at the same time, he is getting company, he is getting, whatever kind of benefit he's getting from an actual date. There's no guarantee that a date is going to turn into anything but a date. But at the same time, the idea that it's now being weaponized for women to be able to say, "Oh, I have a great idea. I need to eat. So instead of actually going out and getting a job and buying food, I'll just constantly date losers who will take me out to the nicer restaurants." And they'll get more bold with it if they're not this bold already. It's been a long time since I've been in the dating scene. But they'll just start saying, like, "Where are we going?"
No, see, hold on, but that's where I counter Halsey is like, this isn't a equitable trade, because if the guy were entering into this with the foreknowledge of, got it, I am compensating for companionship, do you really think he'd pick a dinner? I mean, the whole tradition of dinner is to show off to the woman, look what a good provider I can be. See, I can solve this simple problem right here, and look how luxuriously I can solve this problem. You don't think the guy would pick, like, okay, if I'm compensating you for an hour of your time, I'm gonna play video games with you in your lingerie?
Yeah.
That would
Um,
be sweet.
Another thing I wanted to mention. Now, remember the whole controversy of like going Dutch and versus men paying for the entire meal. Now, the reason why men historically have paid for dates and whatnot is because women didn't work and they didn't have their own money. So, and it was the man that paid for everything because not only did he work, but he also wanted to show the woman that I'm a good provider for you and I'll take good care of you, because that goes back to the whole relationship dynamic. The man provides for the woman, and the woman, she takes care of the kids and spreads her legs, offers her quote unquote services. And you see that in the animal kingdom too, because we are not exempt from natural selection or Darwinian evolution in any sense. So it's gotten to the point where women, they want it both ways. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to work, be strong and independent, and yet still have men foot the bill because I'm a lady. I have the vagina, and if you want any chance of getting into my legs or in my panties, then you better pay for this meal and hope that I deem you worthy. And no, that's not a fair trade, just as Coyote said. Is that it's because this is why traditional, and this is why it's more why when we had traditional values they worked. Like with the whole equality thing, it just doesn't work because one is always going to be trying to take advantage of the other. So that's why we had responsibility with authority, whereas the men had the majority of the authority because we had the majority of the responsibility. And now, when you just give men all the responsibility of taking care of women and children, making them happy and so forth, but having no such authority and having no payout, as well as having no benefit or any sort of mutual trade, then men, they start to go their own way and say, "Screw this," especially if they're going to be so liable to the point that they risk going to jail for like false rape accusations and so on. And
You
yes,
also get a scenario like this. So someone that my wife knew was like this, just constantly like going out with men to get a good meal and like would brag about, "Oh, this one took me to this restaurant and this one," like not to give a shit about the guy, right? And this, my wife hated this person. And eventually she married some rich lawyer, you know what I'm saying, gave her a beautiful house and lots of kids and gave her a car and gave her money and all that, and she didn't have to do fuck all. And what did she do? She fucked the plumber and got caught. She got caught. and now she's divorced, living in a single apartment. He's a lawyer, so he took the kids, he took everything from her, and now she's alone in a leaky apartment with no money because she got treated like the whore that she is. So, oh well.
We need more
That's
stories.
amazing.
We need more stories like that. No,
That's
Bob's getting what
justice.
comes. Yeah, that is
Fucking
indeed
justice.
Yes, it is. And I feel zero sympathy for her whatsoever.
Oh, neither do I, and neither does anyone I know who's heard the story. It's not even like there's some that are like, well, she, he didn't pay enough attention to her, so she did this, whatever. It's like, nope, sorry. When you enter into the contract, you're expected to meet your ends somewhat. And sorry, if you wanted to be a trophy wife, then you should have been a trophy wife. You know.
Most
You
of
know.
all, I am so happy for the kids because obviously the man was the better guardian in this relationship. Thank fucking Christ he won the kid.
I don't even think she fought for them because she knew she couldn't win.
No, this is where I got respect for your Orthodox Jew community, because I love the idea of the marriage contract as you lay it out, and I'm sure you have your traditions and everything around it that I'm not entirely familiar with, but just the very fact that it's going into this mindset of both parties are going to lay out in black and white what the terms are and what the agree beforehand on the various terms of dissolution of this contract, you get it all handled ahead of time.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you want to restore a tradition, then the best thing to do is to make that tradition 100% airtight. If you're going to say, well, it should be like this, you're never going to win when it becomes in practice, because someone's going to say, yeah, but my case is an exception. So if you lay everything out from the beginning, there's nothing that you can argue with.
And if I might, that's why kind of to counter Shogun's point, because nobody talks about the entrenched upper class that is their wealth does not come by productivity but purely through inheritance, and basically they live on a stack of wealth that is in their family's name and maintains its own existence just by being there and being in the system. Like, they don't actually have to do anything, but beyond that, you're sort of identifying how they sabotage the system from the inside by demonizing any sort of entrepreneurship or self-reliance. But pardon, I think we're digressing very far off the original topic.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes down to it, there is still a value always to pointing out the inherent flaws of gynocentrism. So it's never going to be off topic to constantly explore those things, because if all you're ever going to do is point out the problems, then you're never going to talk about the solutions. Then you're doing nothing but whining, and whining doesn't help anybody. So you always have to look to what could the solution to the problem be, and you have to look to success stories. That's why, like, I obviously would never be considered a shill for Islam. But when TFM says, well, at least they've got patriarchy or no-go zones, we should look to them for guidance on how to do that for ourselves. Why not? Why wouldn't you take the better parts of any culture and say, hey, I want that for me too?
And then we have all these retards who like take his words out of context and try to make it so that he's shilling for this particular ideology. And again, it's not just him. Like, people do this to each other all the damn time, and it's fucking retarded. No, if someone is winning you, if someone is doing something better than you should absolutely culturally appropriate those few things they are actually doing right. You always want to be the guy who's the most right and doing the things most correctly at each time, so you can beat your enemy and be the best there is.
No, I kind of agree, but that's sort of what I was trying to get at in building off of Hull, like the point of, like, Orthodox Jews, they got this contract. It's maintained socially, and that's sort of what happened or is being done to undermine the current ruling class in America. Is that, like, take Bezos as a perfect example. I can guarantee you that yes, his wife did work. She had corporate officer positions. She actually fulfilled a function in the company, and she was quite well compensated for all of that work. But previously, how the upper class would protect themselves in these things with various corporations and trusts, and essentially protecting themselves against divorce rate by having property be owned by the corporation, the feminists have switched that around to say, well, yep, doesn't matter that it was some sort of corporate property, doesn't matter that the woman might have been reasonably compensated for her role in any of building of the business previously. Marriage comes with this divesting of male resources to female.
I mean, look, there probably was a time where that made sense because divorce was incredibly rare, and because the woman was a dependent. So if you were going to decide that it was time to walk away as a guy, you had to understand that, you know, you made a contract and that's all there was to it, and you're not going to kick her out into the street, absent like adultery or something like that. But now there's absolutely zero reason why family court should even be a thing. It should just be the kind of thing where, okay, we analyzed everything and this is what you get and this is what you get. And I mean, we're at a time where women make more than men. So why aren't their shit getting taken up the way it's supposed to be? Why aren't
Yeah,
they taking and giving their shit to men?
and to clarify what you're saying about women making more than men, it's actually childless women in their 20s and 30s make more than men of the same um, on average. And that is a thing, and that's something that you don't see feminists talking about because they want to keep up that whole victim narrative that women are still oppressed and we still have a long way to go to have quote unquote gender equality, which is quite hypocritical because it just goes to show you that they're just they're never truly satisfied. And okay, and I forgot what I was about to say because there was something else that you said that really was important for to be addressed. Dang it.